Mathematics is a fundamental part of physics, like power to a computer, food to a human, or poorly written jokes of the series which in hindsight are barely even jokes. But what if maths itself was a lie? That a component as basic and critical to our understanding of reality as the number line was actually inherently wrong? I'm Satavi, over there is a duck, and this is slightly better than the bell. Okay, so I may have told a teeny bit of a lie. The number line isn't wrong per se, but it's kind of like British politics. It's boring, you never get the full picture, and it makes us want to cry. Also, half the people in the room talk about how much they want to leave you. Get it? What we've been taught is just a tiny fraction of what's actually out there. A silver of the number plane. Let me explain. Imagine you had a ruler, as those seem good for counting, I think. At the left you put another ruler, facing the other way. That way you have about 30 centimeters each way of 0. Unless you're showing off with a meter stick, you pretentious little That would be a number line, as we understand it. Now do the same again, but at 90 degrees to the center. Well done, you just created the real number line, square, thing. A graph? I don't know, nobody really called it anything. So at this point, you're probably wondering what you're supposed to do with this cross. Unless you want to start slaying vampires, you need to do something that really annoys all secondary school mathematics teachers. Find the square root of -1. We've all been told that if you square a number, you'll get either a positive value or 0. But this is actually a complete lie. You can do it, quite easily, if you know what you're doing. So the number can't be negative, because negatives multiply to positives. Obviously it can't be positive, because, yeah, positive. And 0 squared equals 0. Therefore, the number can't exist on the normal number line, as we don't know what this number is called, because it's not technically a real number. If we're basing this on accurate maths, let's call it I for imaginary, as everything leaving my mouth right now sounds totally made up. We know that I squared equals -1. So, how do we find the value of I? Well, it's root -1. You see, if we take a second number line and put I on there, and 2i, 3i, 4i, etc., etc., you get two lines, but one has I rammed in after every number. We need to find a way to merge these two lines without messing with them, as none of the numbers on the normal number line equal it. To do this, if we take 0i, because 0 times anything will always equal 0, we can get a real number, meaning there is a value shared by both lines. Look at them, they're getting along. Therefore, if we try to put one line on the other, only touching them at that one point, you get the exact ruler thing you just made. So now we have a random square thing that can show us both real and imaginary numbers, meaning we can now square to equal negative numbers. So what does this mean? Well, if you take any number on the real line and add it to any imaginary one, you get a new number. That's needlessly complex. Wait, off script for a second, that was an unintentional pun. Don't blame me for that. These are called complex numbers, and they're all written as evil things such as 2i plus 35 or 72i plus 45. So what can we do with this? Many things. I'll explain this in a future episode, but essentially you can use it to travel back in time, mess with gravity, make interdimensional phone calls, and just generally ruin people's days.